Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Kyle and I got Carlos here from Topcon. Carlos came from Indiana, and that is because you guys may have seen that we got the KX80 compact excavator from Kubota, but it was missing the final part of this whole puzzle, which is the Topcon system. Carlos is gonna help us get it installed, teach us on how it works, show us, and then we're gonna hopefully play around with it. So Carlos, tell me, what do you do?
So I work for Topcon with the compact solution team. So small machines, that's all I do. I work and teach the workflow of compact solution from measure, design to build on the machine. So we start with the measure portion of it, which it comprises the LN-150 3D lasers and our Cedar tablet running Pocket 3D. We're gonna use a tripod, a prism, and a pole.
So if you guys don't know what this is basically gonna make Kyle a better excavator. Like it's gonna help me do a better
Absolutely.
job with less people, because now I won't need somebody holding a grade stick.
That's correct.
And that's what it's all about in today's market. It's hard to find good help. I'm looking at you, Greg. No, I'm just joking. You know, if you want to be efficient, this is the type of system you would get as an excavator or anybody doing, you know, any earth moving or whatever. So cool, man. So show us what we got here. So we've got the laser.
Yep, we have a 3D laser, which is called the LN-150. The LN-150 is a self-leveling robotic total station, really. We call it 3D laser. So it works just like a regular laser. It has a one button operation. Once I put a battery, I push the button, it's going to self-level on the tripod. And there's really no operation from my end other than I need to make sure this tracking me. So we have a prism. It's a 360 prism, and it's tracking this prism as I'm walking around, giving me real-time information, cut, fill.
This will move.
Correct.
Follow you.
Correct. When I finish doing my design in the field, measuring, if I want to do, for instance, layout of a septic system, I can design it on the fly on my tablet using Pocket 3D. Then I can move into the machine, and now I just go and start digging to the percentage of grade that I want. I can create a trench, so I know exactly if I'm digging in the center line or not.
Perfect. That's literally the first project I'll probably do is a septic system right here at the shop.
That's awesome.
Let's go ahead and can we do a little mini demo right inside, because it's cold outside.
Absolutely.
Before we hook it up to the machine?
Sure.
All right, dude.
Absolutely.
Let's do it. You take me through what you would normally do with a person when you're doing your training.
Okay, so we can do it two ways. Normally, if we're building something, either a surveyor will give us control points, we call it. So it will give us some hubs. If we don't have anything, we can start with nothing, and then we can assume a coordinate system, 5,000, 5,000, and I will mark at least 2 points so I can come back tomorrow and relocate what I'm doing.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I'm going to start with setting up a tripod.
Yep.
And I'm just going to set it up anywhere.
So you're basically saying the control points that will always be on the site that you will always take that stick back to and say, hey, this is my zero, basically?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And for now, to do the, we call it a resection. I like to call it anywhere. We need at least 2 points. If we have 3, 4, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It works as well. But at least 2 points. Ideally, not on a straight line. We want it fairly 90 degrees for the reference. So I'm going to grab a battery and my LN. So I put a battery in the LN. I just push the green button. Lights come on. And now I wait for it to self-level. So there's no interaction whatsoever from me at this point.
And we're not, because this is always going to follow the prism, we don't have this thing going around.
Correct.
In everybody's eyes. It's going to always be shooting out right here.
That's correct.
So it's not even a rotary, it's just a line?
Yeah, it's a invisible laser that's following the prism.
Okay.
So right now, that's what it's doing. You can hear the motors going.
Yep.
It's leveling. So it's going to rotate 180 and then back again.
Okay.
It's wireless connection to the tablet, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi to the machine.
What's the distance?
So you can have 320 feet by 120 meters.
Okay. So it's calibration basically right now.
Correct. And that's something that's going to happen every morning when I go to work.
Oh, and he does a 360 stopping at 180.
Yes.
Okay.
So now we had to connect it to the tablet first. Okay. So now I have nothing here. I have no control points, nothing, no line work, nothing. So we're going to be simulating a trench. We're going to build a trench for a pipe for sewer.
Yep.
So I'm going to connect to my instrument first. Okay, it's going to search for it, and I only had to do this one time.
The cool thing is this is not going to require anybody with CAD software and a computer to do all the site layout. Literally, if you're the contractor, you can do it all right from the tablet.
That's correct.
On site, you don't even have to be in an office.
That's correct.
Or you could do it in an office.
Yes.
And then come out and get your control points, right?
Yes. And you can upload files. If somebody give you files, you can upload the files, AutoCAD files, no problem. But it doesn't require. So for the small guys that they don't have somebody in the office doing AutoCAD, this is perfect.
Cool.
So I'm going to grab the pole now.
Okay.
And put the 360 prism. And Kyle, in the top there of the unit, there's two lights. I don't know if you see that.
Yep.
So the idea is if I go too far to one side, for instance, if I go too far to the left, I'm going to see red. If I go too far to the right, I'm going to see green. The idea is I want to be able to see both colors. So I know that's in line of sight with me here.
Oh, yeah, I just saw that. Right there, boom.
So right there. So now I can tell that I want to start tracking. The first thing, if I'm doing this on a job site, first time I come out, I set up my instrument. So I'm going to go control, station setup, and I'm going to use an unknown point because I don't know where that unit is. The instrument height, I don't have to worry about. Okay, so I'm going to keep it at 0. That's an easy number to remember. But it's going to tell me, are you sure you want to use 0? I'm going to say yes.
0 being my control point.
Correct.
0.
Correct. So the instrument, so from the ground up, that instrument has a height. And I can measure that if I would like. Okay? Right now, I don't care about it. I'm just going to keep it at 0 because I don't want to measure that. Now, the one thing I do need to know is the height of this pole. So it can give me true elevation from the ground.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So I have a northing 5,000, easting 5,000 elevation, and that's that point in the ground there. I'm done. I have a reference. Now, I want to come back tomorrow. So what I want to do is I would like to measure a couple points, and I want to call those control points. So I can go, and let's say I'm going to use this crack as my control point.
Okay. Maybe this would be a pin in a corner or somewhere out at my job site.
Yep, correct. Or the corner of the house,
I
the
set
building.
a pin here, and I'm going to set on top of that pin.
Correct.
Okay.
So I will use my legs here. I don't like to use the legs, Kyle, but...
As long as this is good here with your bubble.
Correct. So I hit my measure, and I'm going to give it a number to this point.
Yeah.
Say OK. I can give it a description. So CP for control point. Okay. So now I have point number 1.
Okay.
Now I'm going to go to the other corner and measure a second one. So the whole idea here is I come back tomorrow. I can set that instrument. I don't have to set it in the same spot. I can set it anywhere. As long as I measure those 2 points, I oriented myself, and I can keep on working. So I'm going to repeat the same process here. Measure. And now I'm done. I have 2 points.
Okay.
Okay, so those are control points. They're going to be here tomorrow, next day.
Okay,
a month,
so
a year from now.
maybe you'll get there, but are you going to show me, let's just assume that today's tomorrow.
Yep.
What do you do with these control points?
All right, so I will come back tomorrow.
Yep.
And I will go under control. And rather than say unknown point, I will drop down to where I use new station by resection.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll keep the instrument at 0 again. Just an easy number to remember. Say OK. Now I'm going to add a point. Okay. So now I hit point here. And I'm going to select my point number 2.
Number 2.
Okay. Now I'll say OK. I'm level. So I like it. I'm going to observe that point, say OK. And then I'm going to add point number 1. Okay. So I will go and station. I occupied that point. So I will move again.
And this is basically just to make sure that anything I did yesterday is the same elevations as today.
Correct. And the same orientation horizontally, right?
Yeah, I mean, we could, in theory, not even have our septic marked out on the ground with paint because this is going to save exactly where it's at in this 3D space.
That's correct. Yep.
Wow.
So here's the cool thing. I have point number 1, point number 2, go next, and it's going to give me my deviation. So this isn't tenths of a foot, hundredths of a foot, so I'm within 3,000ths and 3,000, so I'm pretty good, right? And that could be because I wasn't perfectly level or perfectly center.
Oh, it knows that you're coming back today and your control point is 3/100ths of an inch
correct
off from yesterday.
Correct.
Okay. I think that's probably good enough for some excavating.
Oh, absolutely. So now one of the things that I want to show you here is how to build a trench.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to put a pipe down on the ground. Okay, so I want to measure points. So again, I'm going to go to my display options. I'm going to go to my shortcuts. Okay, so now we're going to use a different icon, which is like a Google type of icon. So I'm going to take a couple shots here. All right, different than the control points, just so we can simulate. So I'm going to take first point here.
And is this where we're assuming the start of a trench is kind of what
Correct.
So maybe I have this already marked out. I know I need to be 40 feet off my building for my septic line. Boom, this is my first start of it.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to be measuring the first point. I had to give it a number. Okay, so 1,000. And I can give it a description to this, and I'm going to call it pipe. So I'm going to go to the end of this cut.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm going to measure right here. And this is going to be the end of my...
Remember all this, right, Greg?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And I'm going to hit it again. Okay, same button. And just measure it. Okay, so now I should have a 1,000 and 1,001. The problem with this is pipes normally don't go on top of the ground.
That's right.
They go below the ground, right? So I'm gonna try to work backwards here, okay? Upside down, I should say. So this is pan, okay? So I can move this around. This is selection, okay?
Okay.
So I'm just gonna drag my hand, and I'm gonna select the 2 points that I just shot.
Gotcha.
Hold down, long hold, okay? And I'm gonna hit calc, and I'm gonna say that I wanna create a polyline. Okay, it's just a line that I wanna create. Doesn't have to be straight. I can have several points. I can turn, for instance.
So if I would have done 1,002 next, it would have given a line 0 to 1 to 2?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Yes. So next, and then I'm gonna create this, and I'm gonna call this, rather than layer, I'm gonna call it pipe. So now you can see here I have a line, right?
Yep.
The problem with that line is, again, above the surface, right? So we want to put this pipe below surface. So I'm going to grab this line, and I'm going to edit the line, okay? And actually, I'm going to drop this 2 feet below. So this is pretty cool. Now I can use a V trench. I can do a U trench, or I can do a bench trench. We're going to use a bench trench, okay? So this is my line that I just created. Okay, that's the center line. And I want to do this maybe 4 feet wide at the bottom. Okay, so you can see the number 1 here. So that's 2 feet, and that's 2 feet. So 4 feet total. I'm going to go number 2.
Oh, I see.
So,
1, 2, 3. You're selecting
correct.
1, 2. Okay, okay.
Correct. So those are my templates, right? My slopes. So I want to go a foot, 3 feet high, and then I'm going about a foot out. So it has a little bit of a slope on the trench, right? And then the third portion, I'm going just to daylight 3 feet out, okay? And I'm not changing anything vertically. So I'm going to say next. I'm applying this, and you can see here the templates, right? So that's your center line, that's your first leg at the bottom, second, and then outside, okay? So now that's us, the X, okay? Here you can see a cross section.
Yep.
You see that? Okay, that's the bottom of my trench. That's the side. That's daylight. So that would be out here.
And the X is us, elevation.
Correct. And this is telling me if I need to either cut or fill. So blue is fill, green is great, and red is cut. Okay, so I have one more view here that I want to show you. And this is where this whole thing shines really. Because now I can have a 3D view, and you can see here that we're in a trench.
Yep.
Pretty cool. So this is 1,000 feet long. I can actually subdivide this every 100 feet, so I can put a stake in the center, so I know where I'm at. If I move this to my excavator, I can see the same screen. So there's no guessing in what portion of the trench I'm working.
And instead of it being a person, it is the actual bucket.
Correct.
It's the
at that point,
teeth on my bucket.
Yep.
Okay, so,
So-
I mean that's a kind of a crash course on setting up a straight line for some pipe. It will take some time to be fluid with it.
Sure.
But it's not overly complicated because it's kind of like control points, create the line, set the elevation,
Yep.
go to town.
Correct.
Okay. And then we're going to move this to the machine.
Yeah.
And it's going to already be hooked up because we've already got the system wired into the machine.
Correct.
Okay. So in theory, I could do all of my pre-work. I could build, like, let's say I'm doing a foundation for a home. Can I actually, without having to set points, can I go on here and just build it on the screen and say I want a 40-foot line here?
Okay, so to answer your question, let's pretend that this line now is the beginning of my foundation for my house. I have another tool here. It's called tape dimensions. Okay, so I can go and, wrong tool, select it. And I need 2 points, point A and point B. It doesn't matter the order, it doesn't matter where those points are. So I can go and select from what point to what point. So I can go on my map and select my first point. I'm gonna go to the next one, select the end point. Okay, so now I can start. So now I have a line that I started. Okay, so I have some tools here that I can use. So for a house, normally we're doing a lot of 90-degree turns, right angles. So I will use the perpendicular distance. So I can say, okay, I want to build this and I want it to be 10 feet. And it's going to be a right angle to the last element. So this is the beginning of the line. This is the end. Okay, so I can see where this is going, right? I don't like that's turning to the left. I'm going to turn it to the right. Okay. So I have a quick button here to flip it around. Okay, I like the way it's going there. Okay, so now I have a line there. Okay, and I can give it also a grade. So let's say I'm doing this and this is something that I wanted to pitch, for instance, a driveway.
Or a septic. If I'm going to be, this is my main pipe and every other pipe is going to be a
You
sloped.
got it. You got it. Now, if I'm doing pipes, normally we don't do right angles on the pipes, right? So I have other options here. So I can do a distance and an offset or a distance and an angle. So I can say I want to turn 15 degrees, 25 degrees. So you want to create a trench on a box.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not going to be allowed.
Oh, okay.
For simple reason, it's a closed entity.
Okay.
Okay, so a trench is defined by either curved, straight line. It's a line.
Oh, okay.
Basically, it cannot be closed.
So is there an option for a closed, or how would we do a foundation then? Okay, so if I were to want a simple trench or a footing, I would do an offset of let's say 1.5 feet around my 4 control points. Just a simple square. If I came around and gave myself 4 points.
Correct.
I don't have to do that. I can do it on here and just set my dimensions. Then I would essentially do an offset of 1.5 feet, and then I would drop that other line and offset also 1.5 feet, and I would get myself a nice straight 1.5 feet or 3 foot wide, however deep I want it.
Correct.
Okay.
I grab this, put it on my excavator. Now I know where my center line for my footings are, how deep I need to go.
And also the sides.
Correct.
Right now, like any new technology, it's a little over, it's an overload of information right away, but it's conceptually makes sense.
And we have a lot of tools and tutorials, and we have a website. It's called My Topcon Now. It's free to create an account, and we have quick guides with pictures, tutorials on how to do exactly what I just did, step by step. They're great. I make those, so I know they're great.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I mean, do we want to go and see what this looks like in the machine then?
Absolutely.
And make a simple line out there, and maybe we can, act like it's our septic line or something, and make a couple control points.
Sure.
This okay here?
Yeah, totally fine.
Okay.
And you see why I don't like those legs too much?
Yeah, I can see that, but I suppose it's
they have their place for sure.
Yeah, you can make sure you're nice and level, right? I don't know if that matters a ton.
So the way, if you're not used to this, so the way to use it is you hold that, and then you push those 2 buttons until you get to the center.
Oh, didn't even see those buttons there.
Yep, and that's it.
Oh, okay. And then what about coming? Oh. Good enough for the girls I run with. Okay, so we need to set up and connect to this guy for the first time.
Correct. So we're going to go under Tools, Connect.
Okay. Connecting.
And that already remembers that we connected last time.
Yep.
So we don't have to even worry about which one we're going to connect to. Okay, and now we're connected,
Yeah.
but we're facing the wrong direction. So we're gonna hit the red.
Yep.
And then-
and let's see, we want it to come this way, which I don't know if it really. Oh, so that's too
That's
far.
okay.
So we'll bring it back. I can see green and red blinking at me.
Okay,
That's
keep
a good
coming.
thing?
Yep. Keep coming, because you want it to be facing right at you.
I mean,
I think you're good there.
I think.
So now you will say start tracking. So now it's going to search for it really quick. So the scope inside goes down and up
Yep, I see
to
that.
find it. And then it's
Boom.
going to flash really
Now,
quick
yeah.
on the top. And then you're going to have green here saying tracking. So
Tracking.
you're good.
Okay.
So you can close that.
So we are golden now. So now we need to determine our control points.
Right.
Okay, so am I going to say that's a tool?
So we're going to use the button
Oh,
here,
yep.
the easy button.
Yep, easy button.
Okay.
Okay, I remember this.
So, yep. So next. Oop,
A little bit of wind.
it's okay.
Okay, 0. Yep.
Yep. And we have 5,000 for dot point 100. So you can put 0, you can put 1,000 for elevation, doesn't matter. Finish.
Okay.
Okay. Now we have a control point for the station.
And that's this.
That's us.
That's us.
That is the station.
Okay.
there. Okay.
Okay.
So now we're gonna go and set control. Yep.
Okay. So we'll just call this 1.
Sure.
And do we need to take it somewhere? Or can we? Can
We
this
can,
be
we
our
can call it right here.
Okay. So I don't need a description, do I?
Nope. So then you're gonna You have to say okay. You have to hit measure first.
Ah.
Okay.
Boom. Just like that.
That quick.
Okay. So just so I understand, the
Yep.
9549 is what we're calling this point from the top of that.
Yes.
So how does it know how high this is to measure that?
Right. So we give it the height of this pole. So everything is referenced to the tip of the point.
So even if that thing moved around, as long as we have the control points, it knows where it's at.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're good.
Okay. So we need another control point, right?
Yes. So we want to move now
Okay.
to get another control point.
Okay.
Right?
So it's followed me. We're gonna. Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna hit another control point.
Yep. Same icon.
Boom. We're gonna call this number 2,
Okay.
and we're gonna hit measure.
That's it.
So this is about a half foot lower than over there.
Okay. I believe
Not that that matters, but so now we have 2 points.
Yep. Now we want to measure some points because we want to create a trench. Correct.
Yes. Uh huh.
So we can go at the end of this.
Yep. Let's
Here.
go over here where we're gonna kind of just start digging.
Yep.
Let's just dig right here. I'll just whatever. It don't
Okay.
really matter.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. All right. So this
right,
is where I don't know what we're gonna do. I
Okay.
need my trench.
So we're going to measure first a point. Okay. And you see where it says pole height?
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Pole height's
Yeah.
6.5.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so just hit measure. Okay, we have it. So now we had to hit a second point.
Oh, okay.
For the-
All right.
so, okay,
So let's
so-
just say we're gonna dig the trench up to here. Right?
Sure.
Doesn't matter. We're gonna make sure this is level. See, it's always, you learn a little bit better when you're the one
When
pushing
you're doing
the
it.
buttons.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. And we are going
Absolutely.
to do
Same
another
button.
measure.
Yep, you got it now.
And this is number 2.
Yep.
So we're gonna we're gonna hit measure. And now we know the heights of, wait, where are my marks? Okay.
1 and 2.
So the little triangles are what? Those are controls?
Control points.
And then the 1 and 2 here is,
Those are the points that we're going to
Yep.
use for the trench.
okay, so now let's make a trench.
Okay. So now just drag your finger.
Which way?
Doesn't matter. But we want to select both points.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Out. You got it.
perfect.
Okay. Now hold down. Now go to calcs. And we're going to
Create new polyline. I do
Yep.
remember that.
Okay. We're going to hit next. And we can call this pipe if we want to, or we can just keep it as default.
Yeah, we'll just
Doesn't
do
really-
default. Yep.
Now we have a line.
Yep.
We need to draw up this line.
Yep.
Right? So we're going to select the line.
Yep.
Okay. Now
Hold down.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, and line
Line
works.
works. Yep,
I
man,
remember
you got
that. Edit.
Yep. You're a pro.
And instead of,
94.
we want to go 92, let's say. Yep. We'll go 92. That'll drop it 2 feet down.
Yep.
Okay. Good.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, so now we have our trench.
Yep.
And let's just say we're gonna do 2 foot wide. We don't wanna go, well, it's a 3 foot bucket, so we'll keep it at 4 foot.
Okay.
And I'm still a little bit confused about this, because if I want to be 2 foot lower, it's assuming what? Because right now those 2 points are not the exact same elevation.
Right. So they have a slope, but the points are over the surface here, so we wouldn't be digging anything.
Right.
So then that's what we grab that line. We keep the same slope.
Gotcha.
And then we go down 2 feet.
Gotcha. Okay, because we
Yep.
just marked so that this thing knows where the elevation is right here at this point.
Correct.
And right there where it is at that
Correct.
point. Okay, that does make sense. So now we're going to go, let's just go 2 feet.
Okay.
All right. So there's our trench. And
Yep.
now what we need to do is we're going to go back to our,
And you have to give it a name.
okay, let's just call it test.
Okay.
Whatever.
And then
Okay.
yeah, okay. And then make sure that you select set as current, so we don't have to go back and select it. And that's it. That's
Okay.
all we had to do.
Okay, so even if this point was 95, it's going to still go 2 feet below 94.
Correct.
Okay, okay. And what about if I wanted this to be a sloped line? Where would I change that?
Yeah. So I can go and select the line again.
Yep.
Okay. Line work.
Line work.
Okay. I go to
Edit.
So I have my start position. That's where I grab the whole line and drop it, right?
Yep.
The segment here, it give me information of grade. So let's say I want to keep this as a 1.5% rather than 3% that I have right now.
And it's 3% because that's the heights we selected.
The 2 points.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So it calculated as a 3%. So I can select this, say edit, and now we just change it to minus whatever it is.
Okay.
1.5%, 2%.
Okay. So if I change this to 0,
Yeah.
it will actually be a flat line.
Flat line.
Okay. All right. So now we have a line established.
Yeah.
It's here. Let's take this in the machine and let's see how that looks. See, already just doing it myself, I have a lot better feeling about
Yeah,
it.
right?
That was not as confusing.
Okay. So it's gonna find the boxes in the machine. It's called the MCX1. Okay, and it does it automatically. So it found it, and it's gonna connect to it. I'm gonna hit configure here, and just you wait a whole minute when you fired the machine up. Wait a full minute before you
Okay.
try to connect. Otherwise, it's not gonna connect, and then it just give you an error
Sure.
message. It just
Let the machine warm
whole-
up, just take some
yeah.
time. Yep. Okay.
okay.
So we're done with this pole for now.
We are done with this pull for now. If I can get this off. Yep.
Greg, guard it with your life, man. It's carbon fiber though, so it should be fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. Good.
I haven't broke a glass yet, but I don't. I don't want to start today, right? You can put the screen landscape, Kyle.
Is that-
I'd much rather to do that.
Oh yeah, it does give me a little bit more room.
More real
doesn't
estate,
it?
yeah.
Just want it away from my view. I think a ladder would have made sense, Greg. So rotate to initialize heading. It says 0%. What am I doing? Is there going to be a tone, or what am I doing?
No, so that message is gonna go away as soon as you rotate it off.
Okay, I'm good, right, Greg?
Yeah, you're good.
It says please bench on the swing boom limit.
Okay, perfect. So that's the next step.
Yep.
So now what we're gonna do is there's a button there.
Yep.
It has a so if I scroll up here, so that's to unlock the swing.
This
okay,
one?
so we're gonna hit it. Yep. And then you're gonna move the
I'm gonna move this guy?
Yep. All the way until stopped. You should be good.
That good enough?
Nope. Keep going until stops.
Oh,
There you go.
that's it?
And now bring it to the center. And right above that, there is a lock. Where we unlock the swing, then
Yep.
in the top there's a lock. So hit it.
So there's our trench, our boom. It knows right where the boom tip is, but we're outside yet. So we're gonna go ahead and move up and get to the front of the trench there. Okay, so there's the edge of and now I'm out of design area because I just went out of my trench.
Correct.
It knows that my teeth are out of my trench.
That's correct.
That's what that left one's saying, right?
No, see right here, out of design, because I'm too far. So literally, boom, now I'm back in the trench. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So I don't care if I'm out of design area a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and
Yep.
see how frozen this ground is.
Just a little bit.
See, Greg, you see this, man? I can literally go right to the edge of my trench. And then you see right there, I got the, right now my teeth are 4 feet above the height I want to be. Well, that's actually pretty frozen right there.
Yeah, it's really frozen right there. Yeah, right there, your bottom foot. It's saying.
See, I'm 6 inches. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna dig this out and see. I mean, this is some frozen ground here, man. That's not gonna be the prettiest, but. Oh, wait a second. Where is it measuring, Carlos? What does it think I'm looking at right here? What is this back edge? Is it the teeth, the bucket? Like,
It's the teeth of the bucket. Everything is measured to the tooth of the bucket.
okay.
Yeah.
Are we sure?
Yeah.
Because that's saying I'm 4 feet still.
From finish.
Yeah. That's saying 4 feet and I'm not on the edge, but I was on the edge. But let me roll this. That is saying I need to cut 2 feet.
2 feet. Yeah.
So why was it 4 feet when it was right here? Now I'm at 4 feet. That should be 2 feet also, right?
Yeah, that should be about 2 feet. Do we have a tape?
Well, it did roll the. So is
No.
that the sensor right there on the.
Yeah,
that
but
knuckle?
I wonder if they measured this correctly when they calibrate it.
That I could live with that. That's 2.7.
Yeah.
But I think that's bigger.
Yeah,
I don't know if
so.
that's going to make a ton of difference, but
Well, I think it will because it's calculating that swing, and that's what
okay. Then what about from the tooth to the pivot point? Was that was
to the
3 something?
implement. Yeah. What was it? 372, I think.
I think
they
so.
said? So let's see here. Yeah, I'll buy that. 3,672. Yeah, okay. So I think this is.
Maybe the radius angle we could check.
Yeah, I think that's. I would say probably right where there's where they. So that's about 11 inches.
Yeah.
Aha. I would say that's good.
So we're basically just lining everything up nice and straight.
Yep.
Okay. Capture. Teeth have to be flat.
Okay.
I'm going to do this just for video purposes.
That makes so much more sense.
So when I come down, it's going to beep at me. Boom. There's my bottom of my trench. And I can really be annoyed with that noise or turn it off.
Yeah.
And I've got these visuals here.
Do you guys work with inches rather than decimal?
Yeah, we typically do inches.
Yeah, we can change it to inches. That's no problem.
But you know, it's either one's fine. So this is set to be a
Flat trench. I'm at 0 right now. Oh, that went a little deep, but it's okay. I didn't go underneath. Greg, go grab a level. Go grab the 6-footer or so.
All right.
All right, Greg, just kind of back in that, not right here, like right over here where this is where I feel like it's going to be pretty dang close. I mean, we're not looking for perfection, but the fact,
Lay a pipe in there,
the fact that you could lay a footing,
or footing, or
and I didn't need anybody to hold a stick in here and say 2 inches, 2 inches, or stop, you're too low, you idiot. You know, like I can see and hear it or whatever. And I think the best part is, I mean, I always know exactly where I'm at in the video also because of the layout. That is the thing I got to point out though, because this will let you do anything. I mean, it's not stopping you at elevation. So, you know, if we were to put this system on, like, let's say the land grader on the CTL, the 97, that will actually stop and go to the correct elevation.
Correct.
Using the same system.
Correct.
But with this, it's saying, hey, this is the bottom of your trench. Don't go no deeper. If you want to, you can. Dude, that's
So we call this indicate only.
indicate only.
Correct, because it just indicate you. So you can over dig if you need to,
Yeah.
under dig if you need to, whatever.
yeah.
It's not going to stop you. Where the other one is automatics.
I mean, if you can't call that good enough for a trench, I mean,
That's pretty good.
yeah. So for the people watching, right? Because there's some people that are going to say, I would never spend money on this because I've been doing it this way my whole life and a grade stick works great. Those people, I don't know what to tell you because technology is great and it makes your job easier.
Correct.
What does it look like? Like, I know I talked to at Kubota Connect, I talked to you guys. You weren't there.
No.
But 40K? Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of
About
a ballpark
45, 40, yep.
yeah, number to put this on your machine.
Sure.
If that saves you a person,
Yeah.
part-time, full-time, doesn't matter. What's the life expectancy of this thing? Like, you guys continue to update your software.
Yes.
You don't charge for software.
We do not.
So that's a plus because there's a lot of companies that, like, they charge for your software. You have to
Correct.
get annual, whatever. Do I need to every, let's say, couple of years say, Topcon, I'm gonna send this back to you, recalibrate?
About once a year.
Oh, okay.
We would like to send that to calibration just to get a check.
Okay.
If you see any inconsistency when you're digging or you're doing your layout,
Yeah.
send it out for checking really
Okay.
quick. If you don't see anything like that, work as normal.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The machine, there's nothing that need to be checked or calibrated. I mean, if you change the tooth, it will require to remeasure your bucket,
Yeah.
which is just the implement.
Every implement's got to be calibrated in
Correct.
the system.
Correct. And you said it wasn't
That was easy.
It wasn't that hard.
No,
Yep.
that was easy. That was easy. That was easy.
So if you know how to operate a tape and a level, which I should ask for one,
Yeah.
you eyeball it and
it looks
works
pretty
great.
good. Yeah.
So
That's really cool, man. I mean, I appreciate you coming out, getting this set up. I'm excited because I've been excited to just use the machine.
Yeah.
But now be able to use it in a manner that's going to be even more efficient for us.
correct.
You know. So anyway, Carlos came out. He gave us the demo. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully, the point of this is not. I'm not making this because you guys paid me to make this. I'm making this because this is a tool that we will be able to utilize. And I think there's a lot of you out there that are small business owners like me that maybe don't have a Greg to sit in a trench and you got to have your wife or your kid come out and do it. This takes care of all that. So there you go. Let me know down below, guys, in the comments. What do you guys think about a system like this? I mean, you're spending 120 on this machine, another 40 to do this, but you're going to get efficient, accurate layout. Good digging. I'm excited. So I don't know what else to say, dude. I just want to dig. That's all I'm thinking about. I'm trying to end this video, but I just want to dig some holes. So we'll catch you guys on the next video, and we will be doing some projects where this will really get used and utilized. I'm just trying to think what I could do right now. I want to go dig some holes. Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate it.
Hey, good to meet you.
Awesome. We'll catch you guys on another video.